A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the World News, reaching you live from our studios at Souqnews Television. I am Oyinpriye Krumale. Let's begin with today's top stories. The Nigerian Governors Forum and the Nigerian Communications Commission partner to boost broadband access and secure national infrastructure across the country. Now, Nigeria Education Loan Fund to halt student upkeep loan payments during holidays. And South Africa will open its first new underground gold mine in 15 years, marking a rare expansion in the industry. And oil prices rise on Ukraine war uncertainty as geopolitical uncertainty surrounding effort to end the war. And Nigeria's The Tigers crash out after quarterfinals loss to Senegal in AfroBasket 2025. Many thanks for joining us on the World News. Now, Nigerian Governors Forum and the Nigerian Communications Commission have pledged to deepen collaboration aimed at expanding broadband connectivity and safeguarding critical national information infrastructure across all 36 states of the Federation. The commitment was reached during a courtesy visit by a delegation from the NCC, led by its Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Aminu Maida, the Nigerian Governors Forum Secretariat in Abuja. The Nigerian Governors Forum Director General Abdulateef Shitu commended the NCC's drive to strengthen digital infrastructure and assured the Commission of the Governors' readiness to support initiatives that will bridge connectivity gaps and secure telecom facilities nationwide. According to the NGF spokesman Yunus Abdullahi, the discussion centered on the need for synergy between the federal and state actors to promote broadband penetration, enhance service delivery, stimulate economic growth, and protect telecom assets against threats. Both institutions agreed that prioritizing broadband access and securing communications infrastructure remain vital to Nigeria's digital economy and national security agenda. And Nigeria has been ranked 18th out of 54 African countries in artificial intelligence talent readiness, scoring 37.7 points, according to a new report by the PwC Nigeria. The ranking highlights Nigeria's underperformance compared to regional leaders such as South Africa with 52.1, Tunisia 51.8, and Kenya 49.7. The report, titled AI Talent Readiness Index in Africa 2025, assessed countries based on AI skills, infrastructure, and strategic framework. PricewaterhouseCoopers noted that despite Nigeria's large youthful population and growing tech hubs, critical gaps persist in advanced AI training infrastructure and the absence of a coordinated national AI strategy. PricewaterhouseCoopers stated that these gaps keep Nigeria away from the continent's top tier in AI preparedness. The firm warned that failure to close these gaps could limit Nigeria's ability to harness AI for economic growth, innovation, and global competitiveness. Now, the House of Representatives Public Accounts Committee has summoned 11 electricity distribution companies to appear before it over a 2.6 trillion naira debt owed to the Federation account. The resolution was taken on Wednesday during an investigative hearing chaired by Rep. Bamidele Salam following deliberations. The 2021 Auditor General's report. At the session, the Managing Director of the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company, PLC, Johnson Akinawo, revealed that the scale of the liabilities and the NBETS document show that as of September 30th, 2020, the 11 discos collectively owed 2.6 trillion naira. A breakdown indicates Abuja Electricity Distribution Company with 330.4 billion naira, Eco Electricity Distribution Company with 231 billion naira and Benin Electricity Distribution Company with 233.2 billion naira. Enugu Electricity Distribution Company with 258.3 billion naira and Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company with 325.7 billion naira. Other discos also owe significant amounts. The committee directed the companies to appear and explain the circumstances behind the mounting debts and the measures being taken to repay them. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFUND, has announced that it will discontinue the disbursement of upkeep loans to students during school holidays. Currently, students under the loan scheme receive a monthly upkeep allowance of 20,000 naira in addition to tuition fees, which are paid directly to their respective institutions. However, NELFUND said this structure will now be adjusted to align strictly with academic calendars. In a statement released on Thursday by its Director of Corporate Communications, Oseyemi Oluwatui, the agency explained that upkeep payments would only be made during active academic sessions. According to the fund, the discussion aims to ensure accountability and prevent the misuse of public resources, while also encouraging prudent financial management among beneficiaries. The student loan initiative launched to expand access to higher education has been one of the government's key social investment programs. NELFUND added that it remains committed to supporting students but will continue refining its processes for greater efficiency. Moving on, the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSAN, has cautioned the federal government over incessant policy changes in the oil and gas sector, warning that such moves could discourage investors and undermine industry growth. Speaking at the opening of the 4th PENGASSAN Energy and Labour Summit in Abuja, the association's president, Festus Osifo, expressed concern about recent amendments to the Petroleum Industry Act. He said the changes have unsettled investors and raised questions about policy consistency in the sector. Osifo told participants, which included top government officials, energy experts, and labor leaders, that policy somersault and frequent changes to laws do not aid stability. At best, it is a disincentive to investment. He stressed that as a stable policy environment was critical to building investor confidence, unlocking new capital inflows, and driving Nigeria's transition to a sustainable energy future should be guaranteed. Now, the National Insurance Commission, NAICOM, has launched a nationwide crackdown on fake third-party motor vehicle insurance certificates after discovering that many motorists still operate with counterfeit documents. The development was released and revealed in Abuja during a raid of the Vehicle Inspection Office (VIO) headquarters in Mabushi, where NAICOM officials working with security agencies seized fake insurance papers being issued to unsuspected drivers. Speaking to journalist Adeyemi Abubakar, head of market development at NAICOM, said the exercise followed a directive from the Inspector General of Police mandating strict enforcement of third-party motor insurance across the country. Abubakar explained that there was a directive from the IG of Police that all third-party motor vehicles must be properly insured, and in carrying out this directive, they noticed that a lot of the third-party documents in circulation are fake documents. Now, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, has announced the reactivation of the portal for uploading the 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination results for all Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination candidates nationwide. JAM disclosed this in a post on its official X account on Tuesday, August 20th, 2025. The board urged candidates who sat for the 2025 WASCI examination to take advantage of the reactivated service to upload their results promptly. The upload of O-level results remains a compulsory requirement for processing of admission into Nigerian tertiary institutions. Candidates who fail to comply with the directive may forfeit their admission chances despite scoring high in JAMB examinations. JAMB also reiterated its commitment to ensuring a smooth and transparent admission process while working closely with examination bodies like the West African Examination Council (WAEC) to verification. You're still watching the world news on Souqnews Television. We'll be back in a moment after this break. Do stay with us.
Cashew nuts, ranked among Ivory Coast top cash crops, play a crucial role in the country's economy, generating substantial revenue and supporting livelihoods across the country. As the world's leading exporter of raw cashew nuts, Ivory Coast contributes an estimated $800 million annually to its economy and also serves as a vital source of income for over 410,000 families, particularly in rural areas where few other opportunities exist. Cashew trees flourish in Ivory Coast northern regions, including Bondukau and Savannah, known for its high-quality nuts and extensive plantations, just as Worondogu and Bagwe in the north central and northwest are also emerging as key producers. These regions not only drive Ivory Coast cashew production, but also support local livelihoods and economic growth. However, the country with over 29 million citizens is yet to fully realize the potential of its cashew industry. Despite being the top producer, the country processes only 7% of its cashew domestically, resulting in lost opportunities for value addition and job creation. Specifically, a recent data reveals that only 22% of the country's cashew nut output was processed domestically in 2023, even as the volatility of global cashew prices poses risks to farmers' income and overall economic stability. Concerns also arise regarding labor practices in some cashew farms and the environmental impact of deforestation for new plantations. To address these challenges and maximize the benefit of its cashew industry, Ivory Coast must focus on key strategies moving forward. These include investing in local processing facilities to boost job creation, export value, and farmers' incomes. Furthermore, the Ivorian government body overseeing the cashew sector, ARECA, must promote fair trade practices and ethical sourcing to ensure better prices for farmers and improve working conditions. Sustainable farming practices will also help to protect the environment and ensure long-term cashew production. According to a recommendation made at a workshop organized by the World Bank, tax exemptions and access to credit facilities will help to tackle some of these challenges. Furthermore, the private sector can also invest in research to develop high-yielding cashew varieties, improve processing techniques, explore new cashew products, as well as develop and implement digital platforms that connect farmers to market in order to facilitate financial transactions. Organizations like the Africa Cashew Initiative (ACI) must also assist in data compilation in the value chain at macro, meso, and micro level. By addressing this and harnessing its cashew potential, the country can further enhance its economy and build a more sustainable future for its citizens. Israel Adeyemi reporting for Souqnews.
Augmented reality (AR) is a technology that merges computer-generated images with the user's real-world view, creating a composite experience. This interactive experience integrates various sensory modalities, such as things you can see, hear, and even feel, making the experience interactive and immersive. In recent years, the emergence of this transformative technology has seamlessly integrated digital and physical realms. This groundbreaking innovation relies on specialized hardware like smartphones and smart glasses equipped with cameras and sensors, AR software and Apple's AR kits and Google's AR Core, then creates immersive experiences by overlaying virtual content onto the user's real-world environment. AR software such as Apple's AR Kit and Google's AR Core then creates immersive experiences by overlaying virtual content onto the user's real-world environment. AR's applications span diverse industries from gaming to education, healthcare, retail, and manufacturing. In education, AR enhances learning through interactive and dynamic experiences, while in healthcare, it aids surgical planning and medical training. Retail experiences are transformed as AR enables customers to virtually try on products and visualize furniture in their homes. Despite its potential, AR faces challenges such as technical advancements and user privacy concerns. Overcoming these hurdles will unlock even more seamless and immersive AR experiences, making it an integral part of our daily lives. As technology progresses, the horizon for AR broadens, promising a future where our interactions with the world are richer and more interconnected. Augmented reality is not just a trend, it's a revolution shaping the way we live, learn, and work. Goma Fortune, Souqnews.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, it's the world news right here on Souqnews Television. Now, South Africa will open its first new underground gold mine in 15 years, marking a rare expansion in the sector that has long been in decline. Now, West Wits Mining Limited confirmed production will begin in 2026 at its Kala Shallows project, located on the western edge of Johannesburg. The Australian-listed company said that construction will take 3 years, but ore will still be extracted during the build phase to benefit from current record-high bullion prices. The project is expected to generate both early cash flows and new jobs for local communities. Analysts note that the development reflects efforts to revive South Africa's historic gold industry, which once dominated global output. The Kala Shallows project is viewed as a test case for whether modern investment can restore competitiveness to a sector struggling with aging mines, high costs, and declining production. Now, Freeport Indonesia has announced that it will sharply increase copper concentrate exports in the coming weeks to meet almost all of its government-approved quota before the September deadline. The company disclosed that only 65% of its allocated volume granted in March 2025 has been exported so far. The mine explained that earlier delays were caused by severe weather and operational commitments to support the startup of its new copper smelters. To accelerate progress, Freeport aims to reach at least 90% of its export quota by the end of September. Industry analysts noted that the move highlights Indonesia's strategy to restrict raw minerals exports and encourage local refining and production. Freeport's accelerated shipments reflect the balancing act between immediate export revenue and the government's policy of developing stronger domestic processing capacity, according to reports. Now, Angola's oil output dropped below 1 million barrels per day in July, marking the lowest level in more than 2 years. The decline highlights the ongoing struggles of Africa's second-largest crude producer to stabilize production since leaving the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. Now, data from the National Agency for Petroleum and Gas showed output fell to 998,757 barrels per day slipping under the symbolic 1 million threshold for the first time since March 2023. Analysts link the drop to aging fields, lower investment, and persistent operational challenges. Industry observers warn that weaker output could strain government revenues given Angola's heavy reliance on oil exports. The fall also raises questions about how the country will attract a new investment to revive production and support its long-term energy strategy. Now, Japan has agreed to provide up to 25 billion yen, an equivalent of $169.42 million in samurai bond financing to Kenya. The country's Foreign Minister Musalia Mudavadi announced on Thursday. Mudavadi, in a statement posted on X, said that the financing would boost Kenya's industrial and energy sectors. He noted that the facility will strengthen the local vehicle assembly and parts manufacturing industry while also addressing electricity transmission and distribution losses. Currently standing at about 23% of the national output, the funding forms part of Kenya's broader strategy to expand industrial capacity while tackling inefficiencies in its power sector, which have long hampered economic growth. Samurai bonds are yen-denominated instruments issued in Japan by foreign entities, often used to diversify funding sources and tap into the country's deep capital markets, according to reports. Now, Uganda has reached a temporary agreement with the United States to host the nationals from the third countries who are denied asylum in America but unwilling to return home. The deal excludes individuals with criminal records and unaccompanied minors, according to Uganda's Foreign Affairs Ministry. The arrangement comes as President Donald Trump pushes to deport millions of undocumented migrants and expand removals to third countries. Uganda said it would prefer to receive African nationals under the pact, while both sides continue to work out detailed implementation procedures. Uganda already hosts nearly 2 million refugees, mostly from neighboring Democratic Republic of the Congo, South Sudan, and Sudan. Officials emphasized that a new deal will be managed carefully to avoid overstretching the country's existing refugee system. Now, Asian markets traded mostly higher on Thursday in muted sessions as investors awaited a key policy signal from the United States Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. His speech scheduled for today at the annual Central Bankers Conference in Jackson Hole, while Maine is widely expected to shed light on whether the Fed will cut interest rates in September. Powell has so far resisted repeated public pressure from President Donald Trump to lower borrowing costs. Last week's inflation data from the United States painted a mixed picture, leaving analysts uncertain about the Fed's next steps. A potential rate cut could support growth in the world's largest economy, a prospect closely watched across global markets. Adding to the cautious mood major technology stocks have faced a recent sell-off, with investors questioning the sustainability of the sector's strong rally amid broader economic headwinds. Now, South Korea has introduced new restrictions of foreigners buying homes in the Greater Seoul area in bid to cool rising housing prices. The government announced that starting August 26, foreigners will need prior approval before purchasing residential property, according to the Ministry of Land. Those granted approval must move into the property within 4 months and reside there for at least 2 years. The policy will initially remain in force for 1 year as part of broader efforts to stabilize the housing markets. Officials explain that the move aims to limit speculative buying and ensure homes remain accessible to residents amid mounting affordability concerns. Analysts note that the curbs highlight government determination to prevent foreign-driven pressure on Seoul's property market. We're off for a break. We'll be back in a moment. Do stay with us.
When you visit Lagos for the first time and Google fun or recreational places in the city, at the top of that list will be Freedom Park. Located in Lagos Island on Broad Street, Freedom Park over the years has become home to the Nigerian arts and the culture at large. From annual big shows like the Lagos Theatre Festival, celebration at the Lagos Poetry Festival, to local festivals that celebrate literature, music, and arts, Freedom Park is one of the most visited recreational sites in Lagos for both local and tourist people alike. A place to mingle, unwind, or simply just have fun. Freedom Park, however, hasn't always been a place of fun and games. It has a history that dates to 1861, when Lagos was made a British colony. In 1885, Freedom Park was built as a fortified prison from imported bricks. It was referred to as Her Majesty's Broad Street Prison. Some prominent political prisoners were held in the prison, people such as Herbert Macaulay, Michael Imodu, and Obafemi Awolowo. In 1979, Her Majesty's Broad Street Prison was destroyed, reduced to a dumping ground. It was later rebuilt in the 1990s, celebrated in 2010, Nigeria's 50th Independence Day. Freedom Park still holds a bit of its history within its walls. In the museum, where there are pictures and artifacts, some of the old prison facilities have been converted into leisure facilities that people visit and enjoy today.
When we talk about South Sudan, Africa's youngest nation, having gained independence in 2011, we often focus on its political journey or natural resources. But there's something else that holds deep generational value in South Sudanese lives, which is cows. In South Sudan, cows aren't just animals, they are everything. They are currency, they are status, they are identity. Among groups like the Dinka and Nuer, a man's wealth isn't measured in cash, it's counted in cows. Cows pay dowries, settle disputes, mark the birth of a child, and even the death of an elder. Boys grow up in cattle camps, learning not just to herd, but to lead. Songs are written about prized bulls. People name themselves after their cows. It's love, not ownership. And no, they don't eat them. Not casually. Cows are sacred. They are milked, admired, and even mourned. Only in rare ceremonies, funerals, farming, or great misfortune is a cow killed for food. To eat one is to part with a piece of your soul. I'm Moyosore Adebi for Just Africa, only on Souqnews TV.
Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us in the World News. Now moving on, the private sector in the United Kingdom expanded at its strongest pace in 12 months, signaling improving confidence despite recent tax increases. A new survey shows businesses are gradually shaking off the impact of earlier fiscal pressures. According to the provisional data from S&P Global, the Purchasing Managers Index rose to 53 in August, up from 51.5 in July, and above economists' forecast of 51.6. The reading marked the fourth consecutive month above the 50 threshold that signals growth. According to analysts, the momentum highlights the resilience in services and construction activity, suggesting that the economy is stabilizing. However, they caution that high inflation and borrowing costs remain key risks to sustaining the current pace of expansion. Now, Switzerland's gold shipment to the United States surged to their highest level since March, highlighting trade tensions that have drawn fresh scrutiny from Washington, D.C. The increases comes despite the United States' imposition of a third 9% tariff on Swiss's gold imports earlier this year. Data showed nearly 51 tons of bullion were exported from Switzerland to the United States in July, compared with less than one-third of a ton in June. The surge follows a peak in January when 150 and 93 tons were shipped. Analysts said the sharp rebound underscores the central role of Switzerland as the world's largest gold refining hub. However, the rapid swings in trade volumes illustrate the uncertainty facing bullion markets as tariffs reshape flows between major economies. The United States and European Union have moved closer to formalizing a new trade pact, unveiling a joint statement that outlines steps to reduce tariff and expand cooperation across key sectors. The agreement announced on Thursday could see tariffs on European automobiles lowered within weeks. It also paves the way for potential tariff reduction on steel and aluminium, alongside sectoral conversions covering pharmaceuticals and semiconductors to Brussels, which has additionally committed to address U.S. concerns over digital services and regulations. Analysts said that the deal, first outlined a month ago, marks a significant shift towards easing transatlantic trade tensions while laying groundwork for deeper industrial cooperation. Now, oil prices extended gains on Thursday, supported by geopolitical uncertainty surrounding efforts to end the war in Ukraine and investors' bets on the possible U.S. interest rate cuts. Brent crude futures climbed 41 cents or 0.61% to $67.25 a barrel at 7:37 a.m. West African time, after hitting a two-week high earlier in the session. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude rose by 45 cents or 0.72% to $63.16 a barrel. Both benchmarks gained more than 1% in the previous session. The rally comes as global market await remarks from U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell at the annual Central Bankers Conference in Wyoming on Friday. Investors are hoping for signals of a September rate cut, which could boost demand in the world's largest economy. Meanwhile, geopolitical tensions linked to the protracted Ukraine policy conflict continue to provide a floor for crude prices, with traders factoring risk of supply disruptions. Analysts said that oil may remain volatile in the near term as markets weigh economic uncertainty against persistent geopolitical risks. And in the world of sports, Nigeria's men basketball team, the Tigers, have crashed out of the 2025 FIBA Afro Basketball Championship after falling 91-75 to Senegal in their quarterfinals clash at the Pavilao Multituso de Luanda, Angola on Wednesday. The result ended Nigeria's unbeaten run in the competition as the 2015 champions, as dominated their group stage campaign with victories over Madagascar, Tunisia and Cameroon to top Group B. Senegal, on the other hand, booked their place in the last 8 through a playoff win against South Sudan, setting up the encounter with Nigeria. The defeat marked the 9th meeting between the two African basketball champions and powerhouses, with Nigeria now holding a slim 5-4 head-to-head record despite flashes of brilliance from the Tigers. Senegal's pace, accuracy and physical dominance proved decisive on the night. The loss ends Nigeria's hopes of reclaiming the Afro-Basket title, while Senegal progressed to the semi-finals as strong contenders for the crown. Now, Victor Osimhen has reportedly placed a personal call to Manchester City defender Manuel Akanji in an attempt to lure the Swiss international to Galatasaray this summer. Osimhen, who sealed a permanent €75 million switch from Napoli after a stellar loan spell, is said to have taken on an active role in helping the Turkish champions attract top talent. According to Turkish outlet Yeni Asik, the Super Eagles striker personally reached out to Akanji, encouraging him to embrace a new challenge in Istanbul. Galatasaray are pushing for their third marquee signing off the window, having already secured Osimhen and Bayern Munich winger Leroy Sané. Akanji, 30 years old, is reportedly open to exploring options after struggling for minutes at Manchester City, where Pep Guardiola has preferred John Stones and Ruben Dias at the heart of defense. If the heart of Dias is successful, the move would add a vulnerable experience and depth to Galatasaray's backline as they prepare for domestic and European campaigns. Now that's a wrap on the news, but before we go, here's a recap of today's top stories. The Nigerian Governors Forum and the Nigerian Communications Commission partner to boost broadband access and secure national infrastructure. Nigerian Education Loan Fund to hold student upkeep loan payments during holidays. And South Africa will open its first new underground gold mine in 15 years, marking a rare expansion. Now, oil prices rise on Ukraine war as geopolitical uncertainties surrounding efforts to end the war. Nigeria's The Tigers crashed out after quarterfinals loss to Senegal in AfroBasket 2025. Many thanks for watching. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Souqnews TV. I'm Oyimpri Ekrumale. Good afternoon to you.